not cut out while we're trying to do this live thing. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Hope you guys have had a great day, week, month, or even your year. We're here to talk about Cyberpunk in any shape or form, or whatever tabletop gaming stuff that we come up with. Just want to say thank you all for your continued support, for your love of the game, for your love of the community and everything, all the likes and subscribes and Patreons and all that. I love it. So I really appreciate. Speaking of Patreon, patreon.com/JonJonTheWise. That's where you can support your boy with the beard that is in front of you. And Discord community, if you want to be part of a really cool Cyberpunk community that also loves other things other than Cyberpunk, link in the description below. Don't be shy. Join us. It's public. It's free. And so I don't really have a topic on hand for today. I do have a future topic planned of like going over my campaign notes and stuff like that. I don't have my campaign notes on hand with me, so I can't really do that, unfortunately. Whoops. Sorry, I'm trying to situate my phone in such a way that is optimal for this jazz. Oh, there we go. That worked out. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great time, playing awesome games, and just generally having a good time. That's a weird angle, right? So I'm gonna put it right. Can I put it here? Yeah, look at that. Optimus Prime. Yeah, but then the angle is, it's like all this empty space. All right, I'll just have to hold it. Unless, is this it? Is this the one? That's right. Mr. Skull Baby, good to see you. Okay, I can hold it like this and I think we're good. So yeah, I hope you guys have had a wonderful day. I'm just here. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Yeah, today I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk with the Patreon boys. We're going to be continuing in the Devil's Triangle. And we're going to be looking for a man called Mark Lobo. This is a character that I've been working on for a little while, and I don't want to spoil it because my players have not met him yet. But I took a lot of inspiration, obviously, from Rambo. I mean, that's what they got from him. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if Rambo lived in the forest and like the players had to find him, and he was some kind of like mythical creature that is part of legend. Well, I guess they know that much about him. So they know that he is a Texas Ranger and that he lives in the forest, and they're looking for a secret corporate facility somewhere in the Texas forests. And the only way that they can find this facility, if it exists, is by having like a really good connection within like that corporation, or if they find the information some other way. So, let me roll up these windows just a little bit. I know it's a little loud out here, but I'm in a vehicle. It's hot. So I want to make sure I get some airflow in here. So I apologize if there's any really bad background noise. What's up, Nihilus? How are you, buddy? Can't wait to see you today. I miss you. But yeah, basically, for those of you that don't know, I'll catch you up on what's going on with our Patreon game. For obviously, one of my players passed away, Twiggy, rest in peace. His story was about this other corporate guy that wiped out his entire family, and now he's like set up shop in the Devil's Triangle. Looking forward to playing it. Yeah, me too, man. Seriously. Your ja tu khali, as we say in Farsi, which means your place was empty. But anyway, yeah, haven't watched in a while. Sorry that happened. It's all good, Jack. I appreciate it. Don't worry. I've gotten through it. I've gotten past it, and I'm working on getting over it. I don't think you ever get over it, but I've gotten past it. So I'm on the other side of it now. So I appreciate it. But anyway, he passed away. So we decided to like revolve the campaign and continue his goal, which is to get revenge on this corporate. Now, this corporate has opened up a new factory in some secret factory, a gigafactory, where they produce this new type of food called NutriSave. Super Hornet. Yeah, they're gonna need it, dude. Trust me. The party needs it. They have one solo already, and he's a lifesaver. So having Hornet will make things even better. So anyway, this Gigafactory makes a food called NutriSave. NutriSave claims to be all the nourishment you need. It's synthetic food that tastes like real steak, tastes like real shrimp, tastes like real vegetables. It even looks like it, but it is like 3D printed, mass-produced kind of stuff. And basically, the Free Republic of Texas has given Continental Brands and this corporate named Weiss, last name Weiss, I forgot his first name. They've given him a grant and given him land and given him basically free reign to create this factory. Now, what does that mean? In this setting, the only other source of food and goods is the Amber Oasis, which is a nomad camp. Sorry, just Jack of Hearts says, yeah, I lost a player once. He most likely committed suicide. Thought that I hated him despite the fact I was trying to help him. I'm sorry, man. That's terrible. I'm sorry about that. That's really rough thing to go through. My heart goes out to you. So the Amber Oasis and the Amber Connection are this nomad family. You guys might have heard me talk about them. They basically go around helping people get goods and services and stuff like that. So, but they actually grow crops. Like they have fresh crops that they grow in the surrounding area where their camp is. And a lot of questions arise from that. Like, how were they able to get this soil that doesn't grow anything to all of a sudden be able to grow crops? But that's for another conspiracy campaign. But basically, they are providing food and goods for people all around the communities. And in comes Continental Brands that says, like, hey, we're going to mass produce on a much higher level, more efficiently. And we don't need to actually grow crops. Like, there doesn't need to be any crops or anything like that. You know, and you guys know that if there's crops, there's the potential of your crops being destroyed because of sabotage, insects, blah, 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 bad weather, whatever. So they're like, this is better. We can do it in a factory. It's safer, and we can mass produce it. So obviously everybody in Texas is psyched about it. People are endorsing it. So this Weiss guy is like a savior, right? Everybody looks up to him. He's a corporate. He has a good PR team. And but the real truth of the matter is he's a cyberpunk corporate. And we all know what cyberpunk corporates are all about. They're backstabbing. They're assholes. And basically what this Weiss guy has done is he's come into areas and said, hey, we're going to take this land. We don't care if it's your nomads that live here. We're taking this land. So either you cooperate with us or we take it by force. Obviously, most nomads were like, fuck you. You're not taking shit. We've worked hard for this land. And I don't care if you're some dumb corporate. Come and get some. And that's what they did. They wiped out an entire clan of one of my player Twiggy's clan. And he was like the last sole survivor of his clan. And he decided, I'm going to get revenge. So he followed Weiss to the Devil's Triangle, where now he's setting up shop to make this Gigafactory, right? Now, where is this Gigafactory? We don't know. We do know that he kidnapped the lead scientist that was helping the Amber Oasis with their crops. They kidnapped him, and basically they have him working as a slave. How do we know this? Because one of the other doctors that also worked with him was able to escape when they were going to execute him in the forest. Like, they took him out and said, hey, we're going to go on a routine patrol to look for I don't know what. They took him out in the forest. They were about to execute him. Luckily, Oasis security was doing patrol in that area of the forest somehow, and they jumped the guys before they could kill this doctor. They arrested the doctor because they're like, hey, if you're a part of this group, we don't know who you are. We got to take you in. We got to investigate what the hell's going on. Fast forward, they take him into the Oasis, and one of the players sees the doctor and goes, oh shit, that's my dad. What the fuck is he doing being arrested? So they get into an altercation with the police. There were some corrupt cops involved, blah, blah, blah. They get banned from the Oasis. They're with this doctor now. They're out of there. and they're like, okay, we got to find this factory, and we got to finally put a stop to all of this. We gotta figure it out. First of all, we got to figure out whether we're just gonna blow this factory up or what, or just kill Weiss or whatever. Because maybe they are trying to do some good, and maybe Weiss is just lining his pockets and being a corrupt little corporate, right? So the problem is finding this factory. The Dr. Vargas that they were with has no idea where this factory is. Absolutely no idea. So it's up to the players to figure out some way to find this factory. They know that it is east of the Tanglewood, Texas, that is. Let this car pass. The factory is east of the Tanglewood, somewhere in the forest. And once they asked around from the local folks in the small towns that are sporadically around the oasis, there's a legend about a guy named Mark Lobo. And they said, hey, if anybody knows about a factory in the middle of the forest, it's going to be Mark Lobo. And then the players are like, okay, who the fuck is Mark Lobo, right? Well, there's a lot of legends. Like, most people say he's a monster, he's a ghost, he's a psycho, he's a madman, and he's also a Texas Ranger. Pause. What are the Texas Rangers? Well, in Cyberpunk lore, the Texas Rangers are a faction. I'm glad you like it, Chris. The Texas Rangers are a faction within the Free Republic of Texas. In the Cyberpunk 2020 days, they would go around basically making sure people had social security numbers. That was like a big thing. They were called SINs. And if you didn't have it, you would either be deported, arrested, or something. They were like the Gestapo, basically. But fast forward 2045, and that whole thing is collapsed under itself. Like, nomads, generally, they were called zeros because they didn't have like this social security number. So they were the ones that were preyed on the most. But now we need nomads in Cyberpunk Red because they help with supplies and trade and all that kind of stuff. So you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. So there's no longer this whole thing about trying to find people with social security numbers. So where does that leave the Texas Rangers? Well, they became severely underfunded because people didn't like the way that, they were acting. A lot of the higher ups had to resign or were fired or were killed because of whatever various reasons. And now there's a new Texas Ranger force that is just a bunch of one-man armies. They're spread so thin that the only way you can be a Texas Ranger now is you have to be a cold-hearted killer that is basically able to operate by themselves. So it's very rare that you ever see two Texas Rangers together. They're always by themselves somewhere on assignment in a general area of Texas, which is a giant fucking place. And they basically have to do things on their own. Some people take them seriously. Other people don't take them seriously. Other people call them enemies. Other people call them allies. Where do they stand as far as the Amber Oasis? The Amber Oasis and the Rangers are allied. But places like the Tanglewood, that are mostly corporate run, are not allied with the Texas Rangers. They actually hate them. They have their own militia. And they're like, we don't need you guys here doing anything for us. It's very corrupt. So basically the Rangers are the good guys. Now they are the good guys, right? So back to Mark Lobo. So there's a rumor that he's a Texas Ranger, which is consistent. It makes sense. They got him. He can take care of himself, and he knows the forest. Well, he's a Texas Ranger who's probably assigned to some part of the forest, and that's all we know. That's all we can surmise about Mark Lobo, is that he's somewhere in the forest and he's a Texas Ranger. Now, I don't want to give too much away because I know my players watch this, so they're going to have to find out, what happened. Is he still a Texas Ranger? Did he go AWOL? Is he, what's going on? Did he desert? Is he corrupt? Is he cyber psycho? What the fuck is going on with this guy? So they got to find him. They got to talk to him. What they do know is they came across a booster gang that has taken up shop in a place called what was it called? I forgot. I forgot the town name. Well, this is a good catch up for me. Yeah, exactly, Nihilus. That's why the whole time we were playing, because for those of you that don't know, Nihilus was in my campaign. All right, Jack, take care. He had to take a break from the campaign, but he's coming back to our game. And he liked the Texas Rangers so much that he wanted to join their organization. So his character is a Texas Ranger now. So this entire time, the players were like, damn, it would be awesome if we could have Nihilus back, because he's a Ranger. He could tell us what the fuck's going on with this Mark Lobo guy. So that's the deal. That's the rub, right? With Mark Lobo and the Texas Rangers. But anyway, sorry, I'm just trying to position this. So yeah, they come across this booster gang in this small town. That basically what they did is they came through and they took over this bar and they took over this area, and they just like took over the area, right? So they come across this place as like a pit stop. They just wanted to hang out, get a few drinks, and then move on their way. Little did they know, Mark Lobo is like a taboo person. Like, you don't say his name out loud, because he killed like over half of their organization, and now they are a shell of what they used to be. They used to be one of the biggest gangs in Houston, but they were ousted by the Houston Police Department and the Guardian gangs that live in Houston. So they were basically like, there was a big purge in Houston that happened, and they were one of the gangs that suffered from this. So they went out into the wilderness and were like, all right, I guess we got to find some other place to call home. And that's when they unfortunately crossed paths with Mark Lobo. And the story is that he basically wiped out more than half of their organization single-handedly. And now the current leader has a vendetta to find him, kill him, maim him, whatever. He just wants him dead, tortured, destroyed for destroying his life. So the players come up to this bar not knowing any of this, and they ask the bartender, hey, have you heard of this guy named Mark Lobo? And it was like record scratch, right? Everybody stops what they're doing, and they all like stop playing pool. The music stops. The bartender gets nervous, and somebody walks up to the player that talked and said, like, why are you looking for Mark Lobo? You know, now all of them are interested in this group. And, you know, after some really good social interactions, the players did some really interesting things. They risked it for the biscuit. They got to meet the leader of the organization, and the leader determined, like, okay, so you guys aren't working with Mark Lobo. You're not allied with him. You're just looking for him, right? Well, he said, look, if you're looking for him and you're trying to get information, that's fine, all well and good. But I want him dead. So if you can literally bring me his head, I want his head on my desk. I want you to decapitate him, bring his head, put it on my desk. Then I will give you everything that is in my personal stash and everything that is in our gang stash. Now you're wondering, what is in the personal stash? Well, Foundry VTT has this really cool feature because of the Cyberpunk Red Crew, where you can like make containers and your players can interact with it individually, and they can look inside the crate and see what's in there. So some of my players that were there were able to look inside the crate, but the other ones were not. So they're just like going off of the word of what these other guys are saying. And the other guys that were able to look were like, dude, there was some really good stuff in there, like really good stuff. So, you know, I tempted the players with really good loot, right? So they all shook hands and they said, all right, we'll think about it, you know, whatever, we'll take off. That's a good deal. Let's see what we can do. They get out, they're like, you know, I don't know, Mark Lobo does sound like a maniac, but he is a Texas Ranger. If that's what we heard about him, that he's a Texas Ranger, we kind of like those people. I mean, our friend is a Texas Ranger, one of the other players. So I don't know about killing him. And then at the same time, like, fuck these guys, they're boosters. If Mark Lobo killed half of their organization, probably had a good reason to do it, right? So but at the same time, that good loot, you know what I mean? So they have a funny little situation to try to figure out what they're gonna do. You know, are they gonna just hit up the place to steal the loot and then go look for Mark Lobo? Who knows? They're definitely outnumbered. It's dangerous. So, it's not going to be a simple task. But that's the current state of where we left off in our game. They're just like outside of that bar, barely walking out with their lives. It was like a tense moment. It was super tense the entire time. It's like, will they, won't they kind of combat situation. They're completely outnumbered, but they were smart. They were diplomatic, and they basically put themselves in a dangerous position. One of my players did something amazing. They said, like, okay, yeah, you want to go look at our stash? Well, you come alone. The rest of your friends wait outside, and you come alone, and we'll show you what we have. And he said, okay. So he walks in. They close the door behind him, and he has his back to the door, and there's like a bunch of people in the room with him. And he's like, okay, looks in the crate, sees what's in there, says, all right, sounds good, I'll walk out. And while everybody else was like, I don't like that you're going in there alone. I don't like this. This is bad. It was like really tense situation. But sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. And he risked it and he got the biscuit. The biscuit meaning the information that they were looking for. So that was really awesome. So besides that, I'm very curious to see how my players are going to be dealing with this. We are now in what I like to call improv land. When you plan a campaign, you're basically you're trying to plan every step of the road that the players are taking you on, but it's impossible to do that, right? We all know that. What you can do is you can make some general plans. Like, I know that they're looking for Mark Lobo. I know he's in this general direction. Now, how they're going to go about that, I have no idea. They might say, let's put Mark Lobo on pause, hit up this bar, kill everybody, take their shit. That's one thing that they could do. They might say, you know what, why don't we go make a stop in a major city, get some supplies, get some more information other than whatever information we have now, and then go look for Mark Lobo. Or they might say, you know what, fuck Mark Lobo. He seems like a liability. Let's just look for the place ourselves without his help, because that was just a suggestion. Someone said, if anybody knows where this place is, it's Mark Lobo. The players could be like, I don't know, man, this guy seems unhinged. Let's just go on our own. You know what I mean? So any three or any other thing that could happen. So if all those things are happening, they're all wildly different from each other. There is no way that I could plan for that. And I don't think it's appropriate for me to plan for that. So instead, I'm just letting my players dictate what's going to happen next. I'm ready. I have my open road travel chart, which means like if they're going to travel on the road, then I have some way of making random encounters that make sense, that are interesting. And we'll see what happens from there, how it goes from there. So I'm excited about that. That's supposed to happen tonight. And I'll make sure to update you guys on that. Now, you guys in chat, if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything you want to talk about, I'm more than happy to talk about anything you guys have. Any burning questions about Cyberpunk or tabletop games or stuff like that. God, I miss the open road mechanics. It's improved much. You guys have helped me test it out, and it's a much improved system. And I've noticed that it just works. Like, it just works to make interesting, fun sessions. It's good in between. It's good for like in between other sessions. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm right now is like the perfect time to use it in our campaign. Go on the open road, try to figure things out. So it's gonna be fun, Nihilus. I can't wait. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have any tabletop gaming questions, any tabletop game things going on, let me know. Yesterday I played some Arkham Horror LCG. Sorry. Arkham Horror is a living card game. I was playing that yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Met a cool group of people. So I like to take a break from Cyberpunk sometimes, and from 40K. And but I'm itching to play, man. I'm itching to play some Cyberpunk. We were supposed to record some Under the Crimson Sky on Monday, but we had to reschedule. So it is what it is. What can we do? But don't worry about it. We'll figure something out. we're supposed to record on Monday, this coming up Monday, if any. Actually, no, not this Monday, the next one. Yeah, the next one. So we'll see. Hopefully, I can get another episode for you guys out there. I have other video ideas that I'm working on too, so content will be coming as always. Now, for the rest of this campaign, I've realized, Pierce, I'll get right to your question. Oh, I started a 5th edition D&D mixed with Pokemon story. Very interesting and lots of fun. Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. Okay, sorry, I got a text message. It's funny that you mentioned that. One of my players, Sean, he mentioned that there was like this actual play campaign where they converted D&D into Pokemon, and it seems very interesting. I like that. I like that idea. I was actually thinking today it would be cool to do a Skyrim RPG. I don't know if there is a Skyrim tabletop RPG, but it would be cool if there was like a fully fleshed out one from like a major company that isn't a D&D 5e clone, but or what was it called? OpenGL? No, open whatever it is when you get open license. OLG, open license game. OGL, open gaming license. Sorry, my brain does that. But it would be cool if there was a Skyrim version. I love the universe. I think it would be cool to run some kind of game like that. But yeah, that sounds fun, man. I hope you guys have a great game. Quest Couture says, has anyone else tried to homebrew the cyber generation powers into red? No, I mean, I'm sure other people might have. I haven't spoken to anybody that has. To be honest with you, cyber generation, I'm not a fan of, because of two major things. One is the idea of kids living in a mature, corporate, dangerous cyberpunk world. I think it's a heavy subject. I think it's an interesting idea of like kids that are more mature for their age because the world is so fucked up. But that's also really sad, in my opinion. I have a soft spot for kids, and it's not like something that I like exploring. If I'm gonna do like kids in an RPG, I think kids on bikes, like the Stranger Things vibe, is far more interesting and fun. But the whole cyberpunk kids thing is not something that I'm into. And second of all, superpowers, special powers, psionics, that kind of stuff I don't like in my cyberpunk. I like to separate it from cyberpunk. I like cyberpunk to feel as gritty and real as possible, as close to our world as we possibly can make it, without, obviously there's a lot of suspension of disbelief and stuff like that with Cyberpunk Red, but I mostly prefer it to be as real as possible, or realistic as possible. So I think Cyber Generation takes away from that a little bit. So yeah, I mean, but I hope it works out for you. There's also something called the Knight's Edge series. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's a Cyberpunk 2020 series that basically, it's a bunch of supplements that added like supernatural stuff like vampires and mummies and werewolves, and a new stat called Psi, Psy, and it's like their psionic, psychic stat kind of thing. Never played it. Heard other people have played it. They said it was fun for one shot, but not for a long form campaign, and I tend to think that that's probably true. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody has their own. I've heard of people saying like, wouldn't it be cool if you could mix Cthulhu mythos with cyberpunk? Once again, supernatural I think is good by itself. I think Cthulhu by itself is good. I would even say Cthulhu Punk is cool, but it has to be its own separate world. I don't want it to be Night City. I don't want it to be Cyberpunk where Johnny Silverhand is. Give me a different world, and I'll play in that one. You know what I mean? What's up, Bronx? Good to see you, buddy. Javier Mo. Oh yeah, what's up, Javier Meronio? Meronio. I got it right, I think. Hi, John. Are the guys from Martel Stern going to release a 2077 module rules? After playing the game quite a lot, I'm worried about how the remote cyber hacking would work. It's so overpowered in game. I know. I'm right there with you, man. I think Mike has gone on record to say that they are interested in doing that. I think it if I'm not sure that there's no like official word on it. Officially they've said that they would be interested in doing something like that, because like, why not? Whether that's going to be a supplement, a DLC, or a full-blown other game, I have no idea. I will have to say that I hope not. I hope they don't like integrate the kind of like cyber hacking and stuff like that. I don't like it. I think it's so video gamey. I don't think it fits in Cyberpunk, because look, the question is, if a net runner can hack your cyberware, why would you have that cyberware on? You know what I mean? Why would you do that? Let's say you work for Arasaka. What's up, Mr. Fogel? You are a trained ninja assassin. You're fully loaded up with cyberware, but some, snot-nosed netrunner kid that knows how to use a cyber deck can literally just like wipe out your whole squad from miles away. Like literally, I've killed an entire gang hideout just like sitting on a rooftop, zooming in on them, and hacking their all of their cyberware. Is it fun for a video game? For the first like 5 minutes, but after that, I was like, okay, this is so overpowered. I literally just walk in, boom, boom, boom. You suicide. Your grenade blows up. I blow up your brain. You do this, blah blah blah. They're all dead. I think that that's not interesting or fun for a video game or for a tabletop RPG. So I don't foresee that actually working out. You know what I mean? I don't like it. I know some people really love the Cyberpunk 2077 universe. I think it is a really beautiful universe. I think there's some really cool aspects. I think the single player campaign is awesome. I think the story is really good. There's some gripes I have with the game, like hacking cyberware. I think it sucks. I don't think anybody would wear cyberware if there was such a big vulnerability in it. And I don't like the fact that you get incentivized to just go around willy-nilly killing people in booster gangs. And then later on in the campaign, you're working with them. And they're not like, oh, hey, aren't you the guy that like killed like 100 of my friends? You know what I mean? So, but I get it as a video game mechanic, but I don't know about that, man. I'm not down with that. Let's see here. So yeah, sorry. I hope that answered your question. You don't have to hack stuff if you just blow everything up. Yeah, that's true. CC Monkey, hey John, what are your expectations for Black Chrome? My expectations for Black Chrome, I think what we all want is stats, like stat boxes for weapons. Like we want weapons that we could give to our players, that we could put into loot boxes and stuff like that. I want interesting weapons. I want interesting items that have special rules, that are fun, that are interesting because they are unique. I want stories on where these weapons come from, how they're manufactured, how they're made, how these items are made, how they're sourced. And I want charts. I want charts and tables. What else do I want from Black Chrome? I want affordable vehicles. I want vehicles that are not 40,000 eddies. I want vehicles that my players can source, like, for like 2,000 eddies. That isn't like the most amazing vehicle, but it gets you from A to B. I want that to be available. And I want, let's see, what else do I want? I want new net running stuff for sure. I want like new programs, new net art. So yeah, so stuff like that. Um, that's what I want. Hopefully, we'll see. Javier, 100% agree with you about cyber hacking. Well, maybe 99.5%. Yeah, you got to leave that 0.5%. That's why I hate cheat codes on games. I want a challenge. Yeah, that's the problem with cheating. If you cheat for too long, then the game becomes boring, which is exactly what you don't want. Do you expect 2 source books released for this year? I don't know. We're almost in June and there's no word on a source book coming out anytime soon. They're like soon, and their goal, I think, was to do 2 a year. minimum. I think that they maybe ran into some troubles and aren't able to do 2 a year, maybe 1.5. You know what I mean? Like the next one will come in January. But I'm hoping, man, I'm hoping we get something soon because we're all itching for new content. The DLCs are all great. James, Jay, and everybody over there at Art Talsorian put a lot of time and energy into making these DLCs. They're well thought out. They're fun. So I commend them for that. Those are coming in like hotcakes. You know what I mean? So that's great, but I think we do all want like an actual new supplemental source book that we can hopefully find on the shelves and stuff like that we can readily get available to us. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's see here. Meat over metal. I agree with you, Nihilus. Then you realize how strong it is. Also, thought on Tales for the Red if you've seen any of it. Tales for the Red. Let me know what that is, Quest. It's not ringing any bells. The only time fighting a gang ever comes up in the first mission with Jackie saving Sandra. There's a mission later. You go back and they are talking about you and Jackie and how you took them out. Yeah, that's right. I think I remember that. But there's other times where like you work with the Tiger Claws, but I'm like, dude, I've been killing Tiger Claws like I would park my car. I'm like, oh, Tiger Claws. Park my car, get out, kill them all, get back in my car, and leave. Like, that's how deadly I am in Cyberpunk 2077. I'm literally like, you're not safe as a booster ganger. And think about that. There's like some random edge runner going around just murdering every gang. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they put a green light on you? It should be on site with your character if you're killing that many. Even the cops should come after you because they're like, dude, you're causing like havoc. You know what I mean? Like, I get you're a vigilante or whatever bullshit you're trying to do, but goddamn, dude, it's in the middle of the street, daytime, you're busting out your cyberware and your AR-15, whatever, and you're killing all these gangsters. Like, it's causing problems in our city. So everybody should be after you. Booster gangs, cops, and even corporations, because corporations work with booster gangs. They're like, hey, you're killing our assets. Can you stop? You know what I mean? So I don't like the idea that you just go around killing willy-nilly and that the game incentivizes you to do that. If you don't go around killing booster gangs because you want to like RP or whatever, then I don't even think you could do that because there's a lot of side missions where you have to like go and kill. You can pacify and like choke them out and stuff like that. But why would you want to do that? You know what I mean? Why would you want to like leave them alive? Then they're going to find you and kill you, right? You have to kill them. So yeah, I agree with Jimmy. Jimmy just said there should be a rep for each gang. There should be a rep. There should be like negative, positive rep. Like you kill Tiger Claws, then you're protected by whatever. What were those red, white, and blue? Oh, the Valentinos. I think Valentinos. I think that's what they were called. Right? So I think that aspect of 2077 is what really bothers me about the game. Mr. Fogel, I agree so hard on the vehicle bit. Yeah, me too, man. I have homebrewed that my players can find vehicles that are cheap and readily available. Think like smart cars, stuff like that are easy to manufacture and small and don't really offer that much protection. You know what I mean? Just a motor on wheels with some kind of doors and shit like that, right? Should we expect an expansion in general gear and Black Chrome? Yes, CC Monkey, I think that's the word. What they've said is it's Black Chrome is about stuff and where to get it. That's all they've said. Stuff and where to get it. So that sounds to me like weapons and how to source them, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So yeah. Hopefully that works out. New DLC has net running stuff. Yep, and I love it. It's great. That's the kind of stuff I love. Happy Chap. Have been watching your vids. Going to introduce my 5e group to Red soon. Thanks for the vids, dude. No problem, man. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have great games. And if there's anything that we can do for you in this community, we have a Discord. Feel free to join the Discord, ask questions. And, you can ask questions on these lives as well. I'm more than happy to help you out. Super Edge Runner, I know. Sorry, Tales from the Red. It's the mission supplement that was supposed to come out this spring. Oh, yeah, I think I've heard about something like that. I don't know much about it. Um, I will say that Artel Sorian's version of like providing campaign stuff, like adventures and stuff like that, comes from they have a lot of like one page campaigns, you know, or one page one the is that what that source book was? The that new not source book. The what's it called, man? Interface magazine. Interface magazine came out. It had some stuff in it. I think there were some campaigns in there. Tales from the Red. Yeah. That's right. That's what I think that had that in there, didn't it? That interface packet. Yeah, I saw some of those. They were really fun. They're fun. Like, what I'm finding out is Cyberpunk Red is a really good one shot, two shot, three shot game, convention game. Like, pick up and play. It's one of the best out there. I think it's literally one of the best pick up and play tabletop games that you could ever get a part of. The data pack, that's the one. Yeah, so I'm not sure if Tales from the Red is a similar thing or if it's going to be like a long form campaign thing. I'm hoping they have more long form campaign kind of stuff coming out in the future. I think that would be a lot of fun. People will get a lot of fun out of it. You know, we want Mask of Nyarlathotep. We want Curse of Strahd. We want that kind of stuff with Cyberpunk Red, right? They even had it with Log Cabin Fever, Edge Runners Inc., I think back in the day. Land of the Free. Land of the Free is a long form campaign from Cyberpunk 2020 where you literally go from California to New York, I believe, across the states, and it's like a whole campaign book. So I think that's what we're looking for. You know, at whatever pace Artel Soren can get it to us as soon as possible would be great. 6th Street, fuck 6th Street. Those guys are preppers, but worse. Why are Artel Sorian supporting the very old D20, Roll20, I think you mean, and not Foundry VTT? It feels strange that are so disconnected with the virtual trends. Well, I don't want to speak for them, Javier, but from my conversations with them, they're not married to just using Roll20. There's no like exclusivity contract or anything like that. I think that they first of all, this is all new to them. They're a very old school gamer company. Like, you know, this whole like playing online kind of thing is not something that they're all used to doing. They would prefer to play in person. And any of you guys that play in person know why. Like it's seriously like a magical experience. But obviously we live in a digital age now. We don't all have the ability to play in person. So there's the virtual tabletops out there, right? So that's one thing, is it's all new to them. So they're trying to figure it out. They're still a company and they're holding on to their license. They don't want to just like give it out to everybody, you know what I mean, willy-nilly. So they want to make sure that whoever has the Cyberpunk Red logo on their game, on whatever platform they're on, is something that they can stand behind, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, Roll20 is free and it's available to everybody. That means anybody and everybody on almost any kind of computer can use Roll20. So it would be logical for them to partner with Roll20 to make something available for everybody to be able to use. Yes, you have to pay for it. I think $40 is a little steep, but I have no idea what goes behind the $40. I don't know. I have no idea. I trust them. I think they're a great company. So if they say $40 is what they got to charge, then $40 is what they got to charge. Roll20 or Artel Sorian, whatever. If that's what they got to charge, that's what they got to charge. I haven't personally seen what it's all about, but I think because everybody has access to Roll20 for free, that it is the best place to start, right? We all know Roll20. We've all used it. Now, does that mean that they'll never work with Foundry? No, that doesn't mean that at all. Actually, I think that, well, I shouldn't say anything. I don't know. I don't want to talk out of turn. So never mind. Scratch that. All I'll say is that I don't think that they're only going to exclusively work with Roll20. I think that it's possible that they'll work with other platforms too, but we got to find out, if that's going to be the logical choice. Like, for example, I've tried Foundry with a bunch of people and it doesn't always work with everybody. Like, some people's old computers can't handle it. I've had like a few people be like, dude, it's not loading for me. Like, there's too much shit going on. So it's not leaks. It's not leaks. Don't get me in trouble. But the Foundry's not something that everybody has access to. Like, first of all, you got to buy it. If you're the game master and you want to make the world, you have to buy it. It's $50, and then whoever wants to use it, they can use it for free. I think. Yeah, you can use. Yeah, you can use it for free. You don't have to buy. As a player, you don't have to buy it. So, and it's kind of like in a beta form. You know what I mean? It's not my computer couldn't load the map, so I got a new laptop so I could. Yeah, see, there you go. There's a lot of folks that don't have access to it that can access Roll20. So is Foundry the future? I think so. I think it's one of the best platforms I've ever had the opportunity to be a part of. I'll never go back to Roll20 with Cyberpunk. I love Foundry. Like, I love everything about it. It's seriously the best. But I can handle it just fine. I love it. Now, so that this truck passed by. Now that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I hope Foundry doesn't flop and keeps going up this ladder that it's going up, because it's seriously a wonderful platform. And the team that's working behind Cyberpunk Red, you want to talk about like unsung heroes, guys. The team that's working behind it is doing it for free on their own time, basically costing them money because it's an opportunity cost. You know what I mean? If you're working on this free thing, getting nothing from it, then you could be doing other things that make you money. You know what I mean? That's called opportunity cost. So while it might not cost them like actual money out of their pocket, it's costing them the potential to make money doing other things. So these guys are like, it's a team of people that are all dedicated to doing it. And after seeing the news with Roll20, you would think that they would be demoralized and be like, damn, I can't believe they're working with Roll20 and they're not working with us. But no, man, they're not that type of people. They're like, it's okay, maybe in the future they'll work with us. Let's just keep doing what we're doing, because we got a lot of work to do to make this Foundry system perfect. And voila, all because of that, we have this amazing situation right now. And I don't know if you guys have seen their homebrew policy, Artel Saurian's official homebrew policy, but that all came from like the pressure of this team. And they were like, look, we're trying to make this system, and like, we want to make sure that we're not stepping on any toes with copyright infringement. So please give us some information. And Artel was basically saying, like, you guys got to wait because we got to talk to our lawyers. We got to have meetings and figure out what it is. And they just kept saying, wait. And then they released their homebrew policy. And it was like one of the most generous homebrew policies I've ever seen, outside of, like open gaming license, right? Which is understandable. That's, look at all these companies making, money off of D&D 5e. You know what I mean? And Wizards sees nothing from it. So I understand. That's the whole situation with the virtual tabletops. Hoping for that too. Cool crate mechanic. Love the crate mechanic. Tell them to stop using Windows Vista. Boom. Free for players, yeah. And it's a bit of time investment to set things up, but only if you want to go crazy. Yeah, that's the cool thing about Foundry, is you can pour like a lot of time into it and you get like great dividends from it. But it's not required. Like, you don't need to like put in so much work. I made a video on my YouTube channel about how I go about making like battle maps and preparing for my campaign and stuff like that. Through Foundry, and really it's not a crazy amount of work. It's like, a little bit of work and a little bit of planning, but that's only because I want to give my players a good experience. You know what I mean? Let's see. Foundry Rock, I agree, Javier. Bronx says Foundry looks and feels really robust. I'm with you. I agree. I found Roll20 to be kind of a drag. Feels like you need to get to know it before you can use it smoothly. Yeah, I mean, the good news is a lot of people have used it, so people can like walk you through it. Like, we all know all the keyboard shortcuts and stuff because somebody taught it to us. So because it's free and readily available, that's what's so cool about it. I mean, think about like how awesome that is, that there's like a virtual tool out there that everybody could use for free. You know what I mean? So I always love Roll20 because of that. The red module currently in Foundry is fantastic. Kudos to those guys. Yeah, I agree. Those guys are unsung heroes, man. Mr. Fogel, never use Foundry. I'm a storyteller over map maker, and I'm horrible at map making. Yeah, if I'm gonna do virtual tabletops, it's Foundry. If I'm gonna be in person, I have my own techniques for playing in person that are separate from virtual tabletops. So I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. I will check it out when I start a new game after my buddy's wedding. Loser picked a girl over us. Oh man, what a loser, dude. Who gets married? Oh man, I hope it works out for you, dude. I have to transition from in-person to virtual, says J Day. Are you recommending Roll20 as a beginner, or should I be looking to Foundry to start? Let's see here. As a beginner, it doesn't hurt to check out Roll20 just to see what it looks like. It's free. Just like sign up, open up a game, mess around with it. Don't make make NPCs and characters and stuff like that, because if you're planning to use a platform like Foundry, then I wouldn't invest too much time and effort into Roll20. Now the question is, will everybody be able to run Foundry, right? There is this awesome guy in our Discord that had a Foundry server for free that anybody could access. I don't know if it's still live. I'll have to double check. But if you check in our virtual tabletop section of the Discord, check the pinned messages, and there might be login credentials still for that server. I don't know if that server is still live. I'm hoping it is. But if you want to check out Foundry for free, that's a way to do it. But other than that, yeah, it's quite an investment. It's like $50, and if you don't like it and your other players can't run the game, then you're out $50, right? So I would first make sure that all of your players have a decent computer. Like, can they run video games, like modern video games on it? If they can run Cyberpunk 2077 on their computers, you're fine. Get Foundry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about whether it's beginner friendly or not. The official Foundry YouTube channel has some really awesome tutorials to teach you how to use it. Checked, demo works. Perfect. There you go. Definitely check out Foundry's official YouTube channel. I think it's called what's it called? Encounter Library, I think, or something like that. Is the official. Just type into YouTube, Foundry VTT tutorial, and it's a playlist, giant playlist of stuff. Watch all that. It'll get you through it, and you'll be able to use every part of Foundry correctly. And then from there, you just toy around with it until you figure out the cool things that have to do with it. It's definitely it's like any other hobby, dude. Like getting into painting miniatures or 3D printing, or stuff, or even just like a board game. Like, it's a hobby. You watch YouTube videos, you get into it, you put your time into it, you become more of an expert over time, and that's what Foundry is. But there's a lot of things you can do just like right off the bat to just start playing. So that's what I would recommend. Make sure your players can run it first. Let's see. The red module is fantastic. Sorry, I missed this. Sorry. I found Roll20 to be kind of I was already here. Sorry, I lost the chat. Never use Foundry. I'm a storyteller over map maker. Oh yeah, I read that already. Sorry about that, guys. I completely lost everything. Okay, here we go. Jordan says, I just play in person and use Roll20 for battle maps and tokens only, so it works perfect. I'd consider Foundry when I take my games up a notch, but for now, Roll20 is great. Actually, for your situation, I would say keep it Roll20 because you're basically just using Roll20 as a map maker or a map projector. At my FLGS, the owner there, he has this projector on the ceiling that he would run his battle maps on, and he would project it onto the table. So Roll20 is perfect for that. You know what I mean? Who cares about having Foundry for that? I mean, some of the cool stuff you can do with Foundry is like lighting effects and digital effects. Like you can do like strobing stuff. Like it'll look so much better on Foundry because you could do like really cool effects. Like you can make lights that strobe. You can have like a video screen showing some kind of video feed. It's really good for immersion, but like I said, that's like time investment. You know what I mean? Like when I have a map, I'm like that, and but besides that, that's it. You know what I mean? All right. You all should see my Cyberpunk photo gallery for my players. LOL, several gigs of pics, Discord, and Spotify for the win. That's it. Well, hey guys, I hope that answered your question. I'll do this last question from Kieran Wagstaff. Good to see you. Would you consider bicycles to be around, and could they be premium or expensive? And what would you consider a bicycle's move to be? I definitely would consider them to be around for sure, and I would keep them under $50, 50 eddies, because you're completely exposed. It's dangerous. You know, it's not going to get you very far. So I wouldn't worry too much about bicycles of all things. So yeah.